Adin Ross, the $26 million dream, a streamer's journey to mansion life. There was a time, not too long ago, when Adin Ross was just another face on the internet, a young man with a headset, a camera, and a passion for gaming. Sitting in a modest room with posters on the walls and LED lights glowing in the background, he would stream late into the night, building a community one viewer at a time. Fast forward to 2025, and the same Adin Ross, now 23, just dropped a mind-blowing $26 million on a Los Angeles mansion. But this isn't just a tale about wealth, it's about the evolution of a digital age superstar, from a regular teenager to a full-blown cultural phenomenon. The rise of a digital icon. Adin's journey wasn't instant. His early days were filled with persistence, humor, controversy, and charisma. The perfect cocktail for internet fame. With every live stream, every viral moment, and every guest appearance, including celebrity rappers and influencers, his audience ballooned. He wasn't just a streamer anymore. He became an icon of Gen Z internet culture. But beyond the jokes and spontaneous moments, Adin was building an empire. Sponsorship deals, streaming revenue, collaborations. He was turning views into millions. And when the world began noticing the shift in entertainment, from movie stars to content creators, Adin Ross was already miles ahead, redefining the celebrity lifestyle. A mansion fit for the streaming king. Then came the surprise that sent shockwaves through the internet. Adin revealed he had purchased a $26 million mega mansion in Los Angeles, a place that looks more like a palace than a home. With a stunning exterior, towering ceilings, and a modern meets classic design, the estate is the epitome of luxury. Inside, it's everything you'd imagine and more. A private movie theater for exclusive screenings with friends. Multiple streaming and recording studios wired with state-of-the-art technology. A massive pool with city views, perfect for parties or quiet reflections. An elevator, marble floors, crystal chandeliers, a wine cellar. The kind of details you'd only expect in a billionaire's home. And perhaps most telling, rooms customized not just for comfort, but for content creation. Every corner of this house is designed to tell a story, and Adin knows exactly how to use it. Internet reactions and mixed emotions. As expected, the internet lit up. Fans flooded Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok with reactions, some in awe, some in shock, and others raising eyebrows. "This man really bought a $26 million house from streaming," one tweet read. Others praised his hustle, calling him a role model for making it out of ordinary beginnings without a traditional path. But not all the feedback was positive. Critics questioned the morality of such lavish spending. In a world where so many struggle to get by, some wondered aloud whether this kind of wealth should be flaunted so boldly. Still, Adin kept it cool. He didn't gloat or rub it in. Instead, he shared the milestone with gratitude. To him, the mansion was more than just real estate. It was a symbol of a dream realized, a journey from nothing to everything, streamed live, with millions watching. What's next for Adin Ross? This mansion might seem like a peak, but those close to Adin, and even his fans, know it's just another step. He's hinted at expanding his brand, possibly stepping into film, music, or even tech investment. The $26 million house isn't the end. It's a base, a castle from which he plans to launch even bigger moves.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into everything we know about Kanye West's upcoming album Bully, from the official release date and the backstory behind it, to the wild visual drops, AI vocals, and the heavy controversy that's still following Ye into 2025. Whether you're a longtime fan or just trying to keep up with the headlines, you're going to want to hear this. Let's start with the basics. Bully now has an official release date, June 15th, 2025. That date isn't just random, it's actually Northwest's birthday. And if you've been following Ye lately, you know he's been putting his kids front and center in his creative projects. North had her spotlight during the Vultures rollout. And now it looks like Saint is playing a major role in Bully. But we'll get to that in a second. So where did Bully even come from? Well, this project has been floating around in different forms for a while. Back in March, Kanye dropped a surprise visual album under the same name, completely unannounced. It featured his son Saint West in a bizarre but cinematic wrestling-themed short film. Picture toy mallets, oversized masks, and Kanye's new music playing in the background. It was directed by none other than Hype Williams, who's worked with Ye before. The visuals were trippy, dramatic, and filled with metaphor. It felt less like a music video and more like performance art, with Saint literally wrestling his demons in the ring. That was our first glimpse into the Bully universe, and Ye was just getting started. Now let's talk about the music. Kanye is reportedly the sole producer on Bully, which is a major throwback to his earlier days. Think College Dropout and Late Registration, when Ye had his hands on every beat, every sample, every transition. But here's where things get even more futuristic. About half of the vocals on the early version of Bully were AI generated. That's right. Ye used artificial intelligence to mimic his own voice for demo versions of songs. And while he plans to re-record most of them with his actual voice before the official drop, this marks another huge moment in how music is being made in 2025. Love it or hate it, Ye is pushing boundaries again. Stylistically, the sound of Bully pulls from multiple eras of Kanye's discography. You've got the heavy emotion and auto-tune from 808 and Heartbreak, the maximalist grandeur of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and a bit of the stripped-down, gospel-infused elements from Jesus is King. Sources say he's using samples from Sam Cooke, indie artist Palmy, and even clips from The Simpsons. It's chaotic, soulful, experimental, and very Ye. But of course, it wouldn't be a Kanye release without controversy. The rollout of Bully has been overshadowed by Ye's continued string of offensive posts and public statements. He's made headlines again for anti-Semitic imagery and rhetoric, including briefly using a red swastika in his alternate album artwork. That sparked immediate backlash across the industry, with many fans wondering if Ye would ever find a way to separate his music from his inflammatory behavior. For some, the music isn't enough to justify the man behind it. For others, the art is its own thing. Either way, the tension is real. Critics who've heard early versions of the album have actually praised the music. GQ called it a good Kanye West album, while Rolling Stone said it might be his best since The Life of Pablo. But the praise comes with a huge asterisk. Nothing about Bully is easy to digest. It's brilliant and messy, ambitious and offensive. Exactly what we've come to expect from Ye in this phase of his career. What's good, YouTube? Today we're diving into some explosive new claims coming out of the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. Allegations that Drake may have gone way beyond music and actually threatened Kendrick and his team with voicemails that sounded more like something out of a mob movie. This all comes from DJ Academics, who recently claimed he spoke to someone directly from Kendrick's camp. According to Ac, that source revealed that Drake allegedly left threatening voice messages aimed at Kendrick and his inner circle during the peak of their back and forth. Now this is wild because up until now, we all thought the feud had stayed strictly on wax, diss tracks, subliminal lines, and industry shade. But if these voicemails are real, that changes the entire tone of the beef. Academics didn't just mention it in passing. He emphasized how intense the voicemails were, saying Drake was talking like a mob boss. using language that made people close to Kendrick feel like it went beyond rap. The implication? That Drake was trying to intimidate or shut down any further shots coming from Kendrick's side. And to add fuel to the fire, Axe said someone from Drake's own camp, Anthony Saleh, confirmed that the voicemails were real, but here's where it gets even more interesting. As soon as Kendrick dropped Not Like Us, those voicemails allegedly stopped. So what was it about Not Like Us that silenced everything? Let's not forget, that track was a nuclear bomb. It wasn't just a diss, it was a cultural moment. The beat, the bars, the accusations. It hit so hard that it got radio play, club spins, and people dancing to one of the coldest takedowns in recent memory. Many fans called it the definitive blow that ended the feud. And if these claims are true, it even made Drake back down behind the scenes. Now let's zoom out a little bit. The Kendrick versus Drake rivalry has been brewing for over a decade, from the infamous Control verse in 2013 to Drake's subtle shots over the years, and then the full-on diss track war of 2024. This wasn't just a one-off clash. It was a build-up of competitive tension between two of hip-hop's most elite MCs. Tracks like Push-Ups, Euphoria, Family Matters, and The Heart Part 6 came fast and hard. But Not Like Us. That was the people's anthem and potentially the knockout punch. If the alleged threats are true, it raises serious questions. Was Drake trying to end the beef before it got out of control, or was he trying to control the narrative and silence Kendrick? We don't know the exact contents of the voicemails because nothing has been publicly leaked, but the fact that someone like Academics, who has close ties to both camps, is making these claims adds a lot of weight. This also puts Drake's whole persona under a microscope. We've seen him move like a boss in the industry, pulling strings and building alliances. But threatening another artist? That's something different. That's not just beef that borders on harassment. And it wouldn't be the first time an artist crossed the line in a rap feud. But it's a dangerous territory when words turn into threats, especially in a post-Tupac and Biggie world where fans know the stakes can get real. As of now, neither Kendrick nor Drake has publicly addressed the voicemail rumors. No leaks, no confirmations, just whispers and speculation. But in hip-hop, silence speaks volumes. The fact that this is even a conversation shows how powerful this feud was, and still is. So here's the question. Do you think Drake really left those voicemails? And if so, was it just emotional venting? Or was he trying to play puppet master behind the scenes? Let us know what you think in the comments. Smash that like button, subscribe for more real rap talk, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.